Things that we learned about the book launch, which are
live book launch on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
So that was a lot of fun. It took about an hour, so it ran over by about 15 minutes more than what I expected, which was okay. We didn't play all the games that I had, which was okay. I talked a lot, which was okay, because that's kind of the point. But at the same point, if we're going to do live on 3 platforms or more again, then I really suggest that we pick up some used phones that we can just do Wi-Fi and video on.
Or get your computer and my tablet working
properly.
The tablet would have recorded your live stream, but it was not very good quality camera.
Yeah, it wouldn't. They're not good quality. I would rather have better quality.
Yeah.
So we should get a couple more, because it would also be helpful, because then we can actually go on our phones and we can monitor comments easier, rather than peering and going, oh, you got a comment. Because that was real fun, doing my word scramble, kind of typing in, right? Not easy, not good at all. So we want to make it easier on ourselves. So we're gonna go check out the Facebook Marketplace, Facebook buy and swap groups, and see if we can find some old phones that have good video quality that people want to get rid of for a reasonable price.
Yeah, because we're just going to do Wi-Fi
recording. We just want to be able to get on Wi-Fi, that they have a reasonable camera so that we can go live and do video recordings.
Quality too, actually, because we got to do our podcast. I think that way
too.
Well,
decent quality audio, video, and Wi-Fi capability, and some storage.
Because if we were just doing one platform at a time, it would have been
it would have been a lot easier. The next thing that we are going to talk about is, I think, setup. We're not set up on time. That happens because life happened and got in the way. I had intended to be live 10 minutes before my actual start. And also because we were late, we didn't get to play with the phones, play with our technology, and go, okay, this one has to go this way, this one should be here.
Should have been late.
We couldn't actually make my webcam with my laptop work. So our whole setup and technology, we had issues with. It's so funny. She's got a tripod, which is great. I've got this thing that clips, and you can, it's like one of those, snake lights, that you can move it however you want and put in whatever position you want. So it's really cool, but it's also very spastic. Is that a good word? It moves. You touch it, it moves. And now everybody's got the roller coaster of motion sickness. We've been using books to prop up our third phone.
And that is how Sunny Leonard Dizzy started, she said.
So, if that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do.
If that's what you have, then you use what you have, and then when you can afford you upgrade your technology.
It would be good to possibly upgrade that. We should probably get another tripod, 1 or 2, or whatever we can manage, along with our brand new used phones. I think
our little
overall it went well. It was a bit of crickets because people like to lurk. People came on, people left. You expect that. It is a first book launch. I don't have as many followers as, say, some of the big people do. Being a very first book launch, people aren't sure if it's something that they want to do or not.
And people don't have time and they forget.
Some people, said, hey, I'd love to be there, but I have got, this and this and this evening. And I said, oh, that's cool. That's okay. So overall, I think we had good attendance. We had more than what I expected. I did plan on having 0. So when I have 0, I just basically plan to use it as an exercise for you, the viewer, the wannabe authors. But it actually turned out that I had people who tuned in and were like, hey, and we gave away a couple prizes, and we did some games. I wish we would have done a few more games, but it was kind of difficult because our word games didn't work out so well. Somebody just fell. There's a hole in the road. Yes, if you could stay still while you're eating your pudding, that would be helpful. What else do you think we could have improved on?
I couldn't reply to comments and do as much in the comment section as somebody would be helpful to do.
Yeah.
Having somebody...
If you had the phone or 2 or 3 in front of you that you could just go...
Because you have
then it would have created more engagement.
Well,
you're my PA, you would do that, right?
It'd be an administrator, right?
Yeah. So you would have had more engagement with them and said, hey, I'm Josie's PA, chit chat, nice to see you, so-and-so, and stuff like that. You did wave to some people on Instagram, so that was cool. So that would be a plus of having more phones.
You better lick your nose.
Somebody has a nose issue. So that would be another plus to running another event like this. Yeah. And even running webinars, interactive webinars where people learn stuff, that would be another plus as well.
If I had the laptop actually instead of just and knowing what we're doing and the thing is, as you do these, you will learn more things. Because as somebody who has watched and been part of other people's live streams and learning videos and stuff like that, or learning live streams, I've done a few of those webinars, and they run into troubles too. So it's okay to have these problems the first time.
You're going to have mistakes.
10 times.
You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have unusual things happen. You're going to have oopses. The calendar's going to fall to the floor behind you. Things are going to happen. And it's how you react and how you move forward. Today was a very bad day in the fact that I had planned my super sale to be on today. And I had planned my book to be available today. Perfect.
Yeah. And
that didn't happen. So my book launch didn't even have a book that they could buy at the launch time. So they have to wait to buy it. So I'm guessing Friday. I'm hoping Friday it will be available.
Could you have updated them to do a pre-launch, pre-order?
No, because you're going to be ahead 4 days for that.
Oh.
Yeah, we were too quick on the draw for that. So things were just not ready. Amazon wasn't ready. Things were glitching on their end because normally I put a book on, I go to bed in the morning, it's like, boom, it's away. It's ready to go. I'm like, woo, 8 hours later. Now it's past the 24-hour mark. They're supposed to be doing it actually it's well past the 24-hour mark. They're supposed to do it within 72 hours. No email yet, nothing yet, so I'm just going, well, maybe a lot of books are being uploaded this month.
I'm wondering if because they had the long weekend?
Yeah, Easter. They might be catching up.
You learn from each experience. So going live and just going all in.
Yes, because we did 3. Probably should have just started with 1, but we did 3.
And so you expect to have some issues, you expect to be learning curve.
And, I throw on these self-imposed deadlines, and I always like to challenge myself, so I pretty much, put it right to the max of what we should be doing, and we're down to the wire once again, which is a bad thing. So please prepare better than I did. Prepare. That is my number 1 tip of the day.
Well, you were prepared with all your games and all your ideas that you wanted to do. I had my ideas that I didn't tell you ahead of time, and I thought, you know what, that's a good idea maybe to ask these questions or do this if you weren't sure if you wanted to add it. And there's something.
But there's always another time to put those in too, because this is not necessarily going to be my last book launch. I think it went well. And so.
And I think it's just on the spur of the moment. You're going to have probably 30. I heard somebody say before you're going to have probably 30 minutes prepared. 10 to 15 minutes of people's questions and ideas and thoughts.
You have any idea how much I prepared?
No, I mean you prepared for 40 minutes of
talking. I prepared for 40 minutes of talking and a 10-minute before the show.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen, so it got combined in the show and became a 40-minute. Yeah. 45-minute. Actually, it was an hour and 5 minutes. An hour and 5 minutes. That's how it turned into.
You had engagement, so you have
which was
to figure.
Good.
Because they had said 30 minutes for what you want to talk about and your fun, your pitch, your games, your intentions. Okay. 10 to 15 minutes of engagement.
I'm going to.
Oh, sorry, y'all. And even if you have crickets, you have questions and thoughts and ideas that people have asked before. And then your spur of the moment, you think of stuff.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have things that all of a sudden just pop up and you talk about that you don't always expect.
Most of mine was outlined. So I'd say 90% of what I said was outlined. So it wasn't in-depth or anything, but it was a case of, you're going to talk about this. You're going to talk about this. Don't forget to mention that. These are your bulletin points. Do game number 1. And then I went to game number 1. This is time to read your excerpt. So I went to excerpt because I put my games, my excerpt, my next game, my trivia all in a row in a document so that it was neat and organized and easy to do. So I think those were the main things that we learned about our book launch, is that A, we need more cameras. B, we need those cameras so that we can also comment right here. C, we need to be on time and be set up better and run through our technology more. so that we are comfortable with it and with doing it. And then also just to kind of maybe practice once or twice more before we're really, really comfortable with doing launches and lives.
And how long do you think advertising for it and reminders and stuff like that would be a good video thing, I think?
I have an actual launch sheet.
Yeah.
And in my launch sheet, I have a little introduction, and then I have, I have a whole page dedicated to marketing. So what you're going to mention the first time, the second time, the week of the launch, the day before the launch, the day of the launch, hour before the launch, like everything you need to kind of go over and do. It's my checklist of what I need to do. I have an actual to-do list, like check your games, play your games, make sure your games work. Make sure all your technology is working, all sorts of things like that. Just, advertising that you may or may not want to do. And so that big to-do list is right there to be checkmarked, which is great. And it also, says the reasons why you should or shouldn't do something. And then I have a launch outline.
Able to be edited.
Because that way you can put things in and out. I just have a sample launch there that you can follow and say, okay, pre-launch, you want to show up 10 minutes before, this is what you're going to talk about. These are the reasons why you're going to talk about these things, to create engagement, to make your readers all happy and warm, because you want them to stay. And then, talking about the launch itself, talking about the book. And
so do you think it prepared you pretty good?
Like I think it really, really did. I think following that outline gave me a lot of... Everything was sectioned for my time. So my games were split up evenly. My excerpts that I was reading was split up evenly. To talk about question and answer period, things like that were just kind of split up and put in there. And like it had a very nice pattern and flow to it.
I liked it, yes.
And I think that really helped because it kind of repeated itself without being too repetitive. I think it made my job a lot easier. I put probably about 5 to 6 hours into making this document. But it saved me a lot of time because then I was just like, put game A here, put game B there. And so once I had it all set up, my extras, it was just lined up and I just followed the whole chart. Done.
So when you do your next launch,
so
much faster, easier, because you don't have to make that outline.
I don't have to make the outline or anything like that. That's already set up. So I would just switch my games, say put game D instead here. I'll have my answers and questions. By the way, I made up my answers and questions because who knew if anybody was going to ask anything, right? So I literally made up 6 questions.
So you've had people ask questions before.
Because I knew people had asked these questions before, so I was like, I'll just answer them. So if nobody says anything, I've got something to talk about instead of everybody listening to crickets and me going, come on, say something.
Yeah, because you have had people on your channel and your Facebook, your YouTube channel, Facebook,
You'll have people who are introverts who don't want to say stuff.
But you've had people on your other platforms as you went ask questions.
Yes.
And
so
your
take the questions
readers.
From there.
So have a list of. You can do a video of just answering questions. Or you can do your live video, make it part of your live video that you are as your launch.
And that made it a lot easier too because, I did get a couple questions, which was great. And so I just switched out my questions for theirs. And I used theirs, so that was great. And that way, being on the fly, it wasn't a case of, oh my goodness, what am I going to do next? Right? So that was really, really helpful. I think my outline was really, really prepared, and that worked really good. So being organized is key. My outline was great. My technology needs some work, but we're getting there. And like for a first book launch, I think it was successful. I think it went really well. And I know that there are other book launches out there, so Google them, see what they're like, steal ideas from them for your own. If you'd want to do a book launch or a business launch or party launch or whatever, grand opening online for whatever you're doing. Maybe you're, putting together some swag or whatever you're doing.
Or even if you're redoing a channel, relaunching your business.
Your YouTube channel. Have a grand opening.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun to have a live grand opening for YouTube?
Yeah.
Say, I've been here for a year. And live it.
If you're going to go in a new direction with your business or your YouTube channel, or your Instagram, or your...
Have some prizes, have some games, have some fun.
It's an opportunity to, go again.
Give back to your fans. Yeah. It would be really cool. I think maybe we should do that in a year.
And it's a great way to interact. It was fun to have little props and different things
Yes.
to go with.
Having my books ready and
Yes.
available was very helpful as well. So I could be like, hey, in this book, this happened.
Yes.
That would be another thing that if I had an opportunity again, I would actually publish my paperback, get it here on time, and be holding up my paperback going, hey! And then everybody would be like, oh.
Or have it watch it go live on, if you could actually watch it go live.
Watch it go live. I would love to have it actually be live on Amazon, so I could say, order now.
Yeah, because if it was like today is the first day of it,
right?
you know.
That was the goal. That did not happen. Next time it will. Okay, that was our tips for launching a book launch.
Like, subscribe, follow, learn. Leave comments of what you're interested in learning. If you'd like to see a video on something else that you're struggling with or interested in learning, or just curious about.
We'd like to know.
We do answer comments.